Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Maurice, and I'm here today talking about the Hunt a Killer series. I've recently got my hands on the Death at the Dive Bar, and I had a lot of fun with this. This was my first time playing a game like this, or at least like the escape room kind of games, or at least that involved, I guess, like a murder mystery. I've played one before that was um, you were captured by a doctor in this house, and he was trying to figure out how to turn into a werewolf. So you were timed. You had like an hour to complete it to to get yourself out of it. But that was kind of the only experience I had with that. But this one was super cool. Like it's like there's so much quality that came into this that I wasn't expecting. I think that some of the best parts of this is the immersive story that's around it. So in this particular one, as you can see on my screen here, um, you're investigating a death of someone who owned a dive bar, and he was kind of mixed into some of the local politics that was there. There's some history here. So one of the cool things I really enjoyed was they captured the small town feel, like whatever. I think this was a made up city. I think it was Perdition, Indiana, and there is a bunch of ridiculousness that's going on in this small town. But I think the creators of this did a phenomenal job with capturing like that small town feel. But I think that this one was so cool. And I know one of the biggest arguments that normally goes towards these games is it worth buying it, right? Because I know that there's kind of a stigma towards you can only play one of these once and the value of it is gone. And albeit it is the same for this, I do think that it's worth the opportunity to play one of these. I would highly support or encourage you to support purchasing one of these if you have the opportunity to. But I know that everybody don't, money's kind of tight, inflation and all that. So I mean, if you have other ways of getting your hands on it, by all means, go for it. But I think that, uh, yeah, this was just a super cool experience. So I'm just going to go through my pros and cons on this, on whether if I think that is worth it or not. So as I mentioned earlier, the immersion that you get from this, it took me roughly about an hour and a half to complete, and that was mostly me just being distracted by other things that was going on in the area. But um, I think that the writing in this game is amazing. Like every time you got to read a note, I mean, if you look down here, like this is pretty much what comes with the game. You see some documents, some notes. This right here is a menu where you can see the little devil head, and then this one was a flyer for some ritual that was going on. It's just all over the place, right? And then you got these items down here below that they put a lot of quality into those components, but I'll talk about that later. But the immersion of this story was phenomenal. One of these documents you can see here with the red banner at the top, like this was some logs to, I don't know if it was a social media platform or if it was just a way for people in the town to communicate with each other, but it was like a Facebook post where somebody heard some noise that was going on at night, and you're seeing different people that civilians from in the city that's responding to the post, and it was hilarious. I think that they really captured having multiple voices in this set as you're going through trying to figure out what happened. So I think that the writing for this was phenomenal. I had a really good time reading through what some people were thinking. Some of the notes were interesting as you're trying to piece together what happened to this individual. I think that once again the components are amazing. Like this is one of the components that you get in the game. You can see it at the bottom here, and it's a what do you call them? Like a bottle opener, and it's like wood and steel. Like it's actual quality, right? And look at this picture. Like this was one of the pictures that the person that sent because you're essentially working for this investigation agency, like a private eye, and one of the people that worked at the bar did not think that this was just an accident because um, the owner of the bar apparently fell off a cliff, and you're trying to figure out what happened to him. The city pretty much wrote it off as an accident. She thinks it was foul play, so she reaches out to you to do some further investigating, right? And this was one of the evidences that she sent. And it's like they legit went to CVS or Walgreens and printed out a ton of these. And I think that that's super cool that they have like these. It feels like you're looking at a real life investigation that's going on. So I think that they did a phenomenal job. And I mean, even the this was like a lighter, a matchbox, and there's another picture that's in this that involves this. So I think that it was super cool, and they even had like a number associated with it. I just leave the area code, and it's a Indiana area code, and you actually call it and get a recorded message. Like it's kind of dope, man. They did a really good job with making it feel real with real life components, and then they also have like these cryptography puzzles. And as I mentioned earlier, I didn't show them because I didn't want to give away the puzzle, but they use kind of like a Caesar cipher. If you're not familiar with Caesar ciphers, they are the shifting of letters. So you can shift. Um, so if you have a message, you can, instead of using the actual word, you can shift the letters to the left or to the right of the alphabet, and you would have to let the person know who you're sending that message to how many you shift. And I thought that it was super cool that they had like a Caesar, like they had a Caesar cipher in this to be able to figure it out. So I think they did a really good job with that. And I think that this is also one, because I know I mentioned earlier on supporting Hunt a Killer, but I mean, if it's something that you want to share, this is a game that's easily shareable. If you're not like me and didn't write on, the different letters and stuff, this can easily be shared. You'll have to redo the bag, because as you can see here, this was one of the belongings of the individual that passed. So there's a lock on there. You got to figure out what the combination is. So if you can figure out a way to lock it back up, like you can just put the stuff that was in there back in there, and there's nothing that's really one time use here. So you can easily share it. So yeah, they did a phenomenal job with that. In terms of the cons of this, once again, to be expected with escape room style games, it's not repeatable. So in terms of you coming into this, playing this, once you get that first experience, that's it. But also, I think one of the design mistakes that they made in this is, I think that if you're playing this with multiple people, I think you can get to the answer relatively quickly, um, depending on the order that you look at the evidence. Because I started off with a lot of the different documents, just going through, reading up as much as I can. And that eventually led me to opening up this bag here, which have some pretty substantial evidence um, towards one of the people. And if you find the combination to that pretty quickly, which is possible, um, that could shorten the time of this pretty quickly. But I mean, on the box it mentions that that is a easy that it is easy to solve. I think they have 45 minutes to an hour to complete, so I can see that happening. And once again, it took me so long just because I was getting distracted by things. But um, all in all, it's with the cons. There's not a lot of them, to me at least. Um, to talk about the price of it, because you normally would get it about somewhere between 25 to 30 bucks. And if you're planning on playing this with multiple people, look at it this way. Like, if you enjoy escape rooms, they normally average somewhere between $10 to $25 a person. So if you have, and that goes up exponentially the more people you have, right? So for you to have this experience within an hour with multiple people, you're pretty much going to pay on average what you would for going out to an actual escape room, and you get a pretty good experience out of it. So I would say, don't let the price of these deter you from the experience, because I really do think that this is definitely worth it. I would definitely recommend this series, at least this box for sure. Death at the Dive Bar. I do think that it's worth it. I do plan on going through and playing some more of these because I know that um, you can purchase some of these in as like one offs. So uh if you want to have more experiences, I don't think you really have to do the subscription service. But I don't know the value of the subscription service in terms of like how many you get for X amount of price. So there may be a deal there that it might be better to do subscription. But I definitely plan on playing more of these. I do think it's very fun. Yeah, so you got the MSRP at $30. So and with the recommended age at 14 plus, most definitely. This one has some some interesting themes to it, with rituals and of course, with the death of the person. So if you decide to do this as a family, make sure that your kids are at least mature enough to understand um, some of the themes and understanding of death, and even with rituals like that's depending on how superstitious or religious that you are, that can be a pretty serious topic. So, but all in all, I thoroughly enjoyed this experience, and I would definitely recommend it to more people. And with the solution, I almost forgot about that. Uh, in the box, it comes with the solution, like um, in this envelope that you can just easily peel back and see what's going on. And they have once you come up with your person that you think have that you think that have done it, then you can look at the solution to see if you were correct. And right here on the site, I mean, you can enter your email address, and they have as you can see, an exclusive epilogue, so it goes a little bit more into details, and you get a drink recipe out of it. They have both an alcoholic and a non-alcoholic version of the drink. So I don't drink anymore, so I might try that. They call it the Detective Daiquiri, so it's a blended drink that it appears to be pretty solid. So I'll save that recipe for if you decide to do it. You can probably look it up and somebody put it online, but for the sake of integrity of the experience, um, I'll let you discover that on your own. But I think that this experience was so much fun. I think that for somebody who enjoy detective style games, I'm a huge fan of Chronicles of Crime, a huge fan of the detective series. This one is right there with it in terms of immersion. I think the immersion may be a little bit better than this because than those games, because I think that it gives you kind of a real life feel with the profiles and the different um, items that you get within the game that are real life items that they went out and put some time to create and put some time and effort into making it feel like an experience. So, I mean, with newspaper clippings, and then this one is a picture right here, and that's a coaster. So they really put a lot of stuff together that made it feel like an actual case that you're on. So I wholeheartedly support these guys. I'm definitely going to be playing some more. And I think that, yeah, they just did a good job with this. So let me know if you've played this, and this one specifically, or if there are some other ones that you played. I'd love to hear those experiences because I think that these they got something going good, and I think these been out since like what 2016, 2017. So they've been going on pretty strong for a few years now. So I got some catching up to do, and I'm definitely going to put in some effort to play these. But yeah, let me know what you think of it. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day.